Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube chess channel Night Capturer. I'm sorry, in the last couple of days I was really busy with my day job, so I couldn't really make any videos. But today it's a wonderful Saturday, and yesterday Tata Steel Rapid and Blitz Chess Tournament 2019 has begun in India. It's actually happening in Kolkata, and I'm going to feature some of the games. Very interesting photo that I have prepared for you guys. And again, I don't claim that this photo is taken by me. The credits you can clearly see in the bottom. We have Sourav Ganguly, who is famously known as the Dada of Indian cricket. He is currently the president of BCCI. He was there for the opening ceremony along with Magnus Carlsen that you can see, and the tournament director Jeroen van der Berg. Along with him, you can see Anish, Giri here nicely having some fun. And you also have the arbiter Ratinam Antaram, probably a Tamilian guy. So it's a pretty exciting tournament, and a lot of players are playing, like Magnus Carlsen, as you can see in the photo. You have Hikaru Nakamura, Vishwanathan Anand, Anish Giri, you have Dingliren, Wesley So, Hare Krishna Pentala, you have Ian Nepomichi, Vidit Gujarati, and famous players like them. They are playing this tournament. So let's get into the first game. This was played by in between Hikaru Nakamura and Anish Giri, and we have Nakamura with the white pieces and Anish has the black pieces. Again, this is the Rapid and Blitz tournament. This does not have classical time control. So you have e4 as an opening, and you have c5, knight to f3, and now d6. And c5 is the Sicilian defense, which is pretty commonly played during Blitz games. You have bishop to b5, immediately going in for the attack. So this is the canal attack, and we have knight to d7, defending the attack. Bishop to a4 is played, prematurely retreating the bishop because this provokes a6, and Nakamura did not really want that, so he immediately played bishop to a4. You have knight to f6, and now simply castles by white. You have e6 and rook to e1, a pretty standard variation. You have a6, and the next idea is to push the b pawn and kick the bishop away to this b3 square. You have c3, proactively moving the c pawn, because now you know that this b pawn is going to come here to b5, so you are going to make some space or the room here on c2 for your bishop. And b5 is definitely played, bishop to c2 as planned, c4, immediately pushing this pawn even further and trying to lock this bishop and trying to lock few of Nakamura's pieces. But you get a4, attacking, immediately putting some pressure on this b5 pawn, and bishop to b7, developing the bishop, putting some pressure. Of course you're defending this pawn, but this pawn is attacked twice now. So you have d4 and c takes d3 en passant. You have queen takes d3, and now knight to c5, attacking the queen and putting a lot of pressure on this pawn, because now it's triple attacked. Even though it's triple defended, you are definitely going to move your queen, and then this piece could fall. So you have queen to e2, not allowing this piece to fall. Well, you can definitely capture it, but it would not be a good idea. You have b takes a4, and now bishop to e3, not even recapturing this pawn, because you can capture it anytime you want. You just you want to keep this light square bishop as long as possible. So you are attacking this knight first, and that's exactly how you should play. If you can capture a piece, if you are attacking it twice and it's been defended only once, you have to immediately see if it can be defended multiple times, and then you can see what you can do to improve your position first and then capture the piece. So you have bishop takes e4, bishop takes c5, bishop takes c2, queen takes c2, d takes c2, queen takes a4 with a check, and finally, after all this Mahabharata, you get queen to d7, asking for a queen trade. And now you have a knight to e5, asking what do you want to do. This is definitely going to be an issue, because now you have to capture this queen and you get queen takes a4, rook takes a4 and bishop to d6. This is a completely equal position, and it's fine for both sides. Both the kings, this king has not castled, it doesn't really have to castle now. This king is castled, but it can definitely get into the game. And you have the equal number of pieces, major and minor pieces, so you are it's a completely fine position. You have knight to c4, now attacking this bishop, and simply bishop to c7, retreating in defense. Knight b to d2, developing the final knight, and now king to e7. You have rook e to a1, putting a lot of pressure on this pawn, and simply a5, pushing the pawn further. You have knight to b3, quadruple attacking this pawn, and there is not much black can do to defend it. So you get knight to d7, and simply knight b takes a5, bishop takes a5, rook takes a5, rook takes a5, rook takes a5, and finally e5, pushing the pawn further. Now you have king to f1. White is now planning to bring the king closer into the game by any way possible, and you still have a lot of pawns. It's again a slight advantage for white, but not enough to convert into a win. So it's completely fine position for both players. You have h5 and now h4, not allowing this pawn to be pushed further. Rook to b8 and simply king to e2. And this is a critical moment in the game where Anish Giri makes the first real mistake. So I want you guys to pause the video and try to find the correct combination to proceed. And the correct combination to proceed is simply to get your king closer into the center, and that is what should have been done. You simply have to play king to e6, then you probably will get rook to a6 with a check. You play king back to e7, and now you even get king to d3. Then you get rook to d8, trying to cut off this king from this file, and simply king to e4. You have knight to f6 with check, king to f5 and g6 with check. Now you have this king cannot really re-enter into the game, into the queen side, because you have cut off all the squares that king can go. Yes, of course, you are giving a check. This is not a checkmate. You are going to g5. But from here, the only square you have available is this square, and then once you go back, it will be completely fine. Rook to d5 can also be played, and you have to play f3. Again, this is a completely equal position. But in this position, king to e6 was not played. By the way, any of you who found king to e6, congratulations. You guys are amazing at drawing the games. And for all the viewers, the move that Anish Giri played was rook to b7. He simply wanted to control the 7th rank and not allow this rook to enter into the 7th rank. But you have to allow king to d3. And even now you have the opportunity to not allow the king to enter into the center by playing f5. But this was not played in the game. What was played in the game was f6, and this f6 move allows the king to e4. And now you cannot really play f5 because the king will have a wonderful square here, and this will be completely fine. This d5 square, and that's exactly what happens after rook to c7. After making a move, you get king to d5. So this king is wonderfully placed in the center of the board, and that is exactly what all of you guys should be achieving in the end game. You see, you have equal amount of material. You have two rooks, one rook against one rook. You have a knight against a knight. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawn against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns. And the king's position for white is much better than the king's position for black. If the black king has to come to the center, it really has to go through this route now. But in the meantime, you can play f3, you can even push g4 and not allow the king to come to the center. But this white king has already reached the center, controlling a wonderful squares. And this knight is again controlling some key squares. You can even remaneuver itself and not allow this black king to enter to this position. So it's a wonderful position for Hikaru Nakamura and a lot of problems for Anish Giri in this position. So he plays f5 now, but it's too late to play f5. It's still, you have rook to a6, cutting the king from entering into this position. And simply e4. You have knight to f3 and now knight to f6 with a check, but you can simply get king to e5. Again, the king is not going to leave this position for now. And you have rook to d7. Now you get knight to h5, f5, knight takes f5 with a check, and you have king to f7. You get knight to d6 with a check, king to e7. Knight takes e4 and now knight takes e4, king takes e4. So you eliminated two of the black's pawns and a knight each. So this is a completely fine position. Yes, what this allows is rook to d2. Now you are attacked for your f pawn is attacked, your b pawn is attacked, and you can defend only one of the pawns. So king to e3 is played. You are defending this f pawn. Rook takes b2. You have rook to g6, now you are attacking this pawn, and simply king to f7. Now you have rook to g5, you are attacking this pawn, and now simply c4. There is nothing you can do. And rook to c5 in this position was played, not really capturing this pawn, but putting pressure on this pawn. And this was the final position on the board, as Anish Giri realized there is nothing he could do, and Hikaru Nakamura won an amazing game. An amazing game that depended on one particular move back in this position. If he would have played king to e6, or even in this position he would have played f5, that would have been completely fine. But on move 42, this was the final position as he resigned. And why did he resign? Because he knew there is nothing he could do to defend this pawn, and then this pawn is definitely going to queen. Not much Anish Giri can do about that. I'm going to show you the variation anyways. So what would have followed is rook to b3, rook takes c4, rook to b5. Now you have g3 supporting this pawn. Simply get g5, and now rook to e4. You don't really have to go on capturing. Now you get g takes h4, rook takes h4, and simply rook to e5 with a check. King to d4, attacking the rook, and you have rook to a5. Now you get c4, pushing the pawn, because you have a pawn, it has to be pushed, and you have rook to a2. Going after this pawn, saying, okay, if you capture this pawn, I'm going to capture this pawn. But you have f4, you don't really have to allow it to be captured, and simply rook to d2 with a check. King to e5, and now rook to c2, attacking this pawn. And now you simply get king to d5, defending, rook to d2 with a check, king to c6, and finally rook to c2. Again attacking, but now you can push this pawn to c5 and defend. This is exactly what Anish Giri is going to do in the next. Anish Giri would try to keep attacking the pawns, but you are going to defend your pawns and simply get a queen into the game. There is nothing Anish could do. Which is why back in move 42 he resigned this position. So let's just continue. King to g6, you have to defend this pawn, and now rook to h3, you remaneuver your rook. Rook to d2, and now simply king to c7. Rook to d5, and now c6, pushing the pawn even further. Rook to d2, and now you get king to c8. Rook to d6, c7. Now you have rook to d2 again, and now rook to h1. Not much you can do about this. Rook to c2, and now simply rook to b1. King to f5, you have rook to b3. Now you defend all of your pawns, you don't really have to worry about anything. King to g4, the king cannot really capture, so you have king to b8. And this pawn, you either have to capture this pawn or this pawn is going to queen. you have h4. Now simply g takes h4, king takes f4, and now rook to b4 with a check. You nicely indirectly defend this pawn. After king to g3, this pawn is nicely defended. You play c8, bring a queen into the game, and this is checkmate in 9 moves. Of course, rook takes c8 and king takes c8. So checkmate in 8 moves, and try to find the correct winning combination. It's not rocket science. You obviously are going to push this pawn and get a queen into the game and then checkmate. So a wonderful game. I believe this was round 2 that this game was played in, and that's why I decided to show you this game. And there are much more games that are being played in this tournament, so I will be covering a few of them, only just a few, because it's impossible to cover all of the games. And that's all from this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments or concerns, please let me know in the comment section below, or you can email it to me. My email address is also given in the description. That's all from this video. Namaste. See you next time.